Here we are going to work out these problems. Bear in mind a plus in algebra, you can call it and. The word for and is a plus, and there are several words for that sign. You can say negative, you can say subtract, you can say take out. Okay, so here we have, you can call it a negative 2, but the word negative is an adjective, but for verb you can use take out. So you are taking out 2 and you are taking out 3. So if you are taking out 2 and taking out 3, then you have taken out 5. So -5 is the correct answer. Here you have multiplication. A negative times a negative is a positive. So -2 notes, and then what you have now, bear in mind that's a 2 minus, so you can also use it with minus for negative, and then you have open bracket and -8. So technically what you have there now is a -1. There's a -1 outside of this bracket. Okay. Anytime you see a bracket, there's a number outside the bracket. If you don't see any number written, there's a 1. So in that case, this is -1. And anytime you have a number outside of a bracket, it is multiplying to the number inside of the bracket. So this -1 now is multiplying to -8. So what you have happening there now is -1 times -8 is a +8. Okay. So really and truly, what you have here now is, let's write some work in there for it, that you have 3 times 2 plus 8. So that's a 2 plus 8 that's going on there, because at -1 times the -8 will give you a +8. So that's 3 times, and in the bracket, you're going to have 2 plus 8. 2 plus 8 is 11. So that's 3 times 11, which is 33. So that's correct. You have a 2 plus a -8. What you're basically doing, you have a 2, you have 2, and, so you can call that plus sign and. You have 2 and you owe 8. You can look at it that way. Okay, you have 2 and you owe 8. So basically now, if you have 2 and you owe 8, taking out 8 from 2, so you are going to owe 6. That's a -6. A plus times a negative is a negative. 6 times -5 is -30. Here you have a 7, subtract, open bracket, a -3. So this section is just like what was going on here. So there's an invisible 1, so that's -1 outside there. So that will be 7, and a -1 times, because bear in mind, any number that is outside will be multiplying to the number inside of the bracket. So that will be 7 plus 3, because a -1 times a -3 is a +3. 7 plus 3, that's what's going on there. And 7 plus 3 will give us 11. At 12, you have 12, and you are taking out 6 from 12. 12 subtract 6 is 6. Okay, you can also look at it as a positive times a negative. When you see two signs next to each other like that, you can treat it as times. So as a plus times a negative is a negative. So that you can even look at it as 6 subtract 12. So the plus times the negative. Try not to say and there because and is plus. So a plus times a negative is a negative. So this simplifies to 12 subtract 6. This gives us 6. Here we have a negative times a negative. So that's negative 3 times negative 4. A negative times a negative will give us a positive. So that will be positive 12. 0 times any number is 0. Widely understood. Is that a U? What number is that? Is that a 4? Is that, what number is that? 4. So that's a negative and a negative. Please bear that in mind. A negative and a negative is a negative. A positive and a negative. Sometimes it will be a positive, sometimes it could be a negative, it depends. For example, here you have a positive and a negative. Is a negative because the negative or the subtraction was greater than having, so you still end up owing. A positive and a negative, in that case, it happened to be a positive because you owe less than you have. Now you are owing twice. You are owing 6 and you are owing 4. You're taking out 6 and you're taking out 4. Please bear that in mind. A negative and a negative is a negative. It's a negative times a negative. That's a positive. So there's a great distinction between the word ands and times when you're dealing with algebra and arithmetic. So and is plus, times is multiply. So negative 16 and negative 4 is a negative 20. You're taking out 16 and you go back and you take out 4, you take out 20. You owe 16 and you owe in 4, you owe 20. Please get that clear. A negative and a negative is a negative. A negative times a negative is a positive.